too.
Oh, that's cold.
It was much the same across southern Saskatchewan, but Justin Shear with Environment Canada says no cold weather records were actually broken. And now, relief.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. We have temperatures increasing in Regina to highs of -4, -5 by the weekend.
Courtney Markowitz, News Talk Radio, Regina. Well, just a quick look at highways this hour. It is good winter driving in the Regina area until you hit Moose Jaw. Some drifting snow there on Highway 1. Also icy sections on every single highway leading out of Swift Current this hour. And on Highway 11 between Regina and Saskatoon, Davison to Dundurn has drifting snow. For conditions anytime, click on the highway hotline link on our website, cjme.com. And you can text in conditions to us when it is safe to do so, of course, at 306-306.
Oh, what a cold weather nightmare for a woman in Prince Albert. Before she could see the flashing lights at the crossing, her SUV slid into an oncoming train last night.
Just due to icy winter conditions and a little bit of inattention.
Prince Albert Police Sergeant Brandon Moodry says the train dragged the SUV into the crossing light before it stopped. Luckily, the woman behind the wheel was not hurt.
Now, for those who live on the streets, certainly dangerously cold outside in Regina, but the coffee is hot at Carmichael Outreach. And CJME's Jill Slater tells us people are flocking there to get a break from the harsh elements.
Everett Ironstar slept in a parkade last night.
Oh, that's warm enough. At least it's stayed out of the wind anyway.
He says it's chilly out, but not the worst he's seen in his 5 years on the street. He's bounced back and forth between Regina and Winnipeg. He's got his toque, gloves, and he's doubled up on jackets. It's not ideal, but he puts it best.
We have to make the best of it the way we can.
Jill Slater, News Talk Radio at Carmichael Outreach in Regina.
Today marks the beginning of the immunize or mask policy in the province. Healthcare staff in Regina, which didn't get a flu shot, will be required to mask up while on the job. Meanwhile, visitors who didn't get the flu shot will also be asked to put on a mask while visiting the hospital.
On World AIDS Day today, we're learning just who should get an HIV test.
Fundamentally, anybody who has sex in this province needs to consider themselves at risk of HIV and should be tested.
Medical Health Officer Dr. Denise Worker says the number of new cases fell from 200 to 129 as the number of tests increased. And this means Saskatchewan is no longer with a rate that's twice the national average.
The province is endorsing a plan it says will guide efforts to address mental health and addictions issues over the next decade. The plan offers 16 recommendations for improving services across the province. Major priorities include improving access for children and youth in need of psychiatric counseling services. The report was commissioned in 2013, and recommendations are partly based on public consultation.
As Rob Ford hands the reins over to John Tory, the new mayor of Toronto has already met with Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne.
I said throughout the campaign, and I meant it, that I want to use every single opportunity I have to work in partnership with the other governments in this country.
Tory and the Zoo Council are to take the oath of office in front of the city clerk today before being publicly sworn in tomorrow at council's first meeting of the new term.
University of Saskatchewan cheerleading team has made history for the first time ever. They took home a Canadian national title.
After months of training for this moment, there weren't many dry eyes on the U of S cheer team when they won nationals on the weekend.
Most of the team was crying with joy. I was crying with joy.
Coach Shanda Leslie says the Studs team ran their routine twice and were in second place by less than a point after the first run. Then after the second run, they won by just over 4 points. The U of S beat out the U of R and schools from Ontario and Quebec for the title. Charles Coloche, News Talk Radio, Saskatoon.
CJME News Time is 12:36. I'm Kevin Martell.
And I'm Amanda Purcell. This is the CJME Midday Report. Still ahead, 60 seconds with John Gormley plus sports and Jamie Knight's commentary.
Now the Wood File with CJME News Director Murray Wood.
Yes, West Order fans thought they'd been there before. Imagine how Andy Cantus felt. Played to win the Grey Cup. Dying moments. The game. But our Canadian in yesterday's game, still haunted by the too many men penalty of 2009. We all are. It was a deja that kept on brewing. But it failed beside the Tasker family. And Luke Tasker has now been in 2 straight championships with the Ticats and lost. Dad was on the losing end of 4 straight Super Bowls with the Bills. The Tasker family's now 0 for 6 in the big game. And you know that until they saw that play. Now, Peters had to be thinking, not a game. The top team in the league during the regular season about to come up court when it mattered the game. And Brandon Banks, the second week in a row, he had a kick return for a touchdown canceled out by penalty. Meanwhile, Rider fans also have a sense of deja vu. We vow the Riders will be back next year. I'm Martin.
Daily News Time, 12:38.
According to